as I said, I'm usually practice the law of attraction without not even try it. It's been only a year since I started using it, and it's been amazing how I can see the things that I've been wanting and happening right away.
Because isn't it a wonderful thing when you deliberately set forth a thought about something and then you deliberately tune yourself to the outcome that you want through affirmations, through meditation, through scripting, through telling it the way you want it to be, by telling the story as you want it to be. As you deliberately focus and you deliberately tune yourself to your idea of desire, then, as law of attraction does what it always does, you are more aware of the elements of it coming together. Law of attraction is always working, even in your ignorance of it, but it is so much more satisfying when you see it. We like to say to people, what you think and what you feel and what happens always match. And so in the beginning, Esther would say, when something wonderful would happen, she would say, I did that. And then when something not so wonderful would happen, she would say, I did that. And we said, now you're cooking. Once you understand that it's all coming in response to your thoughts, now you really have a handle on it. And now creating is fun. Until then, it feels like chance or luck.
I tend to go to the negative sometimes as well. And I do enjoy it. It matches with what you said, your opening statement. I do like drama and I enjoy it. And sometimes I just sit and paralyzed with fear. And now I realize that I enjoy it. And something sometimes just pushes me to the stream that you mentioned.
Well, I
think I'm lucky enough that
we've never seen anyone enjoy holding themselves in negative emotion. But here is what we think you're describing. Sometimes it's just easier to go with the most practiced thought, even if it's negative, than with a less practiced thought, even though it's more positive. But we want to extract from you a sensitivity to how it really feels. In other words, we think that what you're saying when you're saying you enjoy it is an unconscious movement up the emotional scale, and you just don't realize that you're closing the gap even though you are. In other words, if you're in a really uncomfortable place and some bright-eyed, shiny, bushy-tailed, tuned-in, tapped-in, turned-on student of Abraham shows up and says, you create your own reality, we know how that feels to you. You would like them to die on the spot in front of you, preferably, and the gorier the better. Because when you are offering a vibration that's over here and they're offering a vibration that's over here, it's uncomfortable to both of you to perceive each other, you see. And so when someone is really in a strong place of negative emotion, if you're in despair, let's say, we want to say to you that thoughts of revenge or rage or anger feel better. They are downstream from where you are. And in fact, they're usually the only thing that you have access to, because you don't have access to love and joy or even hope often from where you are. And so when you say, sometimes I enjoy my negative emotion, what we want to say to you, what you're enjoying is the release in a negative emotion that has less resistance in it than the negative thought that you had before. Really, that's what it is every single time. If you were in depression and you found revenge, you might feel something that you would describe as enjoyment over your feeling of revenge. If you were in hopefulness or frustration and you found revenge, you wouldn't describe it as enjoyable, because it would feel like the opposite of relief rather than relief. Are you following what we're getting at? On this vibrational scale, one end of it feels awful, the other end of it feels wonderful. And the end that feels wonderful is when you're tuned in with who you really are as source energy. That's where love and appreciation and joy are. But also, and this is the most important thing to understand about this, it's also where your perception of absolute power and freedom is. When you are tuned in to the vibration of your source, you feel invincible, you feel powerful, you're clear-minded, you feel ecstasy, you feel joy and love and appreciation and vitality and eagerness. It's the best of who you are, because the whole of who you are, all that you have lived and all that you have become is focused in this moment, and you're allowing the fullness of that. It just doesn't get any better than that. And conversely, on the other end of that, you're depriving yourself in your negative thought of all that you have become, and it feels wretched. That's what that feeling of disempowerment is. It's just the opposite end of that emotional scale. So if something happens, like someone you really care about leaving, as you are in that despair, feeling of depression or powerlessness, everything's downstream from there. In other words, every emotion is an improvement from that. So when you say, I sometimes think that I enjoy my negative emotion, we want you to from now on say, I enjoy the negative emotion that has less resistance in it than the negative emotion of where I am. And so here's the way it works. So let's say you are in depression or despair, and you find a thought of revenge. Only you know that it feels better. Now, others watching you liked you better when you were depressed because you were less trouble to them. But if you found that revenge and you acknowledge the relief that you're feeling, so that you're consciously acknowledging your choice in the thought, now you're a deliberate creator. And once you can get to there, then you can reach for a thought of anger, which has more relief in it, and then a thought of less anger, which has even more relief in it. And we can see how you would enjoy the releasing of the resistance until eventually you get to the place where you can find just a feeling of hope. And once you get to hope, you can make your way very relatively quickly all the way up the scale, you say. Your emotions, every single time, no exceptions, are about the vibrational relationship between who you have become through all that you have lived and who you're being in this moment with this thought. When you think a thought, the thought vibrates. When you hold the thought for 17 seconds, the vibration becomes emphatic enough that another thought like it joins it. Hold it again, and it becomes even more emphatic. By the time you've held a thought for 68 seconds, you have established a point of attraction. So can you imagine how many strong points of attraction you establish as you beat the drum, not only for 68 seconds, but sometimes for days and weeks? You join online chat groups, you talk about it with each other, you wake up thinking about it, you go to sleep thinking about it. In other words, those thoughts can become very, very strong. And when those thoughts become strong, it's not easiest thing in the world to pull away from them unless you are aware of this source energy part of you that is calling you. And that's why we teach moving downstream. People tease us because we talk about going up the emotional scale but downstream. Which is it, they say, and we say, we know. Analogies are never perfect in every way. But when you're focused upon closing the gap, when you're focused upon raising your vibration, when you're focused upon releasing resistance, when you're focused upon allowing yourself to be who you are, then in any moment, no matter where you are, you can feel which way is closing the gap and which way is widening the gap. And then, friend, then you can be as we want you to be. You can enjoy every emotion, because every emotion is an indicator of where you are. And if you don't have an indication of where you are, you can't possibly go in the direction that you want to go. Yes?
How do I break the circle? Because what I do enjoy, one of the things that I did or thought enjoy the negative emotion was getting out of it. And, the power of achieving things and doing things. But then I go back again into negative, and that is the circle.
But that's because if you're just looking at that and feeling good and looking at that and feeling bad and looking at that and feeling good and looking at that and feeling bad, there's no deliberate discernment going on. But if you look at that and feel bad, and then you deliberately choose a thought about that that has more relief in it, you train your vibration on subject after subject to different points of attraction. So now you're not like a cork bobbing on a sea, just going wherever it takes you. Now you are guiding yourself. It's about, the answer to your question is, you must care about how you feel. Rather than monitoring thoughts, that'll make you crazy because there are so many thoughts you could think about. Care about how you feel. So as you're moving through your day, say, no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, my dominant intent is to see things that make me feel good when I see them. I want to be aware of how I feel. And then when you look at something and you don't feel good about it, find a way to feel good about it or change the subject of it. But the thing that's tricky, if it's something that's been going on for a while, and if it's something that really matters to you, every subject is really two subjects. So the things that you really, 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 really care about, you want to think about, yes? But what if the things you really, really care about, you've practiced your vibration into a place that's really negative? So then you say, well, every time I think about that, I go to the dark side, so to speak. And so is the answer not to ever think about it again? No, because it matters to you. You want to think about it. You just want to train your vibration into a better feeling place. We demonstrated that with our friend earlier. It's a matter of wanting to feel good until you find. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would say, I want to get a handle on this business of creation. And I know that I can be a deliberate creator. I believe that I can be. I've seen it in some ways. I haven't practiced it on a lot of subjects, but I innately understood it. My grandmother, bless her heart, gave me really good information about it. She was a person with a focused mind. She was deliberate about what she thought about. She didn't belabor things that she didn't want for long periods of time. She set a good example of that for me. And so, and I recognize that. I know that I don't have to know about law of attraction in order for law of attraction to be responding to me, but I'm so glad that now I do know about law of attraction, like knowing that I can tell the difference between whether I'm focused upon what I want or the absence of it. And I like getting more and more sensitive so that I can feel the subtle difference between whether I'm leaning toward what I want or away from it. I sense innately that I'm a source energy in a physical body, and all of my life I wanted to do the right thing. I want to fulfill my reason for being. I want to live what I've intended. I want to find my path. And now I'm beginning to understand that it's not some big path that was all pre-decided for me before I got here and that I've been blind and haven't been able to find it. I now understand that it's a path that I'm creating all day, every day through the life that I'm living. I can feel the partnership between me, the physical human me, and the source energy me. I can feel that life is causing me to lay that path out there, and I can feel at times the spotlight that the source within me is shining upon it. And oh, it is ever so exhilarating when I get focused in the direction of who I really am. I can feel that. But I'm no longer going to call myself wrong or bad or inappropriate when I'm focused negatively, because that's all part of the process too. I came to decipher contrast, and I've been good at that. And I've lived good. I've been doing good at what I've been living. And I love adding this deliberate element to this process of creation. I like being in charge of what I do. I've always liked to direct my thoughts. And I realize that directing my thoughts has two edges to it. If I direct my thoughts in the direction of things that please me, then I'm proud of myself. But if I direct my thoughts toward things that don't please me, then I feel bad about that. And I'm no longer going to feel bad about it. I'm going to put the emphasis upon the fact that I have control of my thoughts and that I can tell the value of my thought by the way it feels. I'm doing really good at this. I'm happy to be a deliberate creator. How do I ever know what I do want if I don't know what I don't want? Mixing it up is all part of it. I'm doing extremely well. I like being a creator. I like looking out into the world. I never wanted to hide in a cave and not see things that were troublesome. I sense that I came forth to see things that are troublesome and to parlay them into improvement, and then to turn my undivided attention toward the improvement. I like being a deliberate creator. I'm getting better and better at it every day. These aspects of my life are going extremely well. These aspects are improving. I'm getting improvement all around. I like being aware of how I feel. My emotions are so important to me. Thoughts are powerful. Emotions are telling of what the thought is. My emotions are only giving me the guidance between my thoughts and my thoughts. I'm not being guided about what anybody else is doing or thinking. It's all an inside job. It's all about me. My guidance has been keen within me. I've always been an emotional person. I've always felt my emotions in a strong way. Now I know why. There have been times that I tried to deny them. I don't want to deny them anymore. I like feeling them. I like feeling the steady improvement. I like feeling for the feeling of relief, the feeling of relief, the feeling of relief. I don't need to even name emotions different things. I don't need to call them joy or depression or disappointment or fear. I don't need to call them hope or love. I can just call them better or worse, relief or not relief. I like the feeling of relief. I like the feeling of relief that I can constantly give myself. I like knowing that where I stand is okay. I like knowing that where I stand is enough. I like knowing that it's enough because it's got to be enough because it's where I am. I like knowing that where I am is enough. I like knowing that it's enough and it has to be enough because where I am is where I am. I like knowing that everybody is in the same experience. In other words, everybody is where they are and everyone only has one choice, or one choice that can be split in two ways, to lean toward or away from who they really are. I like knowing that. This isn't complicated. I like knowing how simple this is. I can do this. I can feel better in every moment if I choose it. I like knowing this. I do know this. I understand this. I now understand what my emotions are telling me. I get it. There's nothing complicated about this. I get it. You get it? You get it?
I get it. Thank you.